And welcome to another episode of Gearcity Nerd. Welcome back. In today's episode, we're going to be looking at a strategy I call the aggressive roll-up strategy. And what this will allow you to do is, number one, make a lot of money, but also, number two, it can help you expand your dealer network, get more factories, and at the same time, cripple the competition. As a little bit of background about the game I'm currently playing in, we started in 1900 with all the AI competitors, and it's now 1930 on ultra-violent nightmare mode. And as you can see, we're doing pretty well. We've got quite a bit of cash, but now that it's the Depression, our cash flow is negative. We're losing money. And so the strategy that I'm going to show you actually allows you to make money without making cars necessarily. Basically what we're going to do is buy up some of our competitors, but as you can see, we've got a lot of them to choose from. And so what I'm going to show you is the way to choose the right competitors to make the most money and to actually be profitable in acquiring them. So mostly what you're going to look for when you click acquisition on a company is its acquisition costs and its company equity. And ideally we want the acquisition cost to be dramatically below the equity. That means that we're buying the company for a lot less than what it's worth. Here's a great example. iSunk is about $100 million below. We can acquire it for $100 million below its equity costs. So that's a good candidate for an acquisition. The next thing we want to look at is how much cash is actually in the company. I think this is important, and I think you'll see why in a second. So what you want to do is when you click on the graphs for the stock, look at cash per share and multiply it by the outstanding number of shares. This equals, I think, about 135 million. So that means that iSunk has $135 million of cash in the bank. This is important because when we acquire a company, we get to keep all the cash in its accounts. And so that helps to lower the acquisition costs. In this case, we're paying $158 million, but we're going to gain $135 million. So our net cost is only $23 million. Okay, so this is a great candidate for an acquisition. I'm going to acquire the company. We just paid $23 million, and you can note my cash position is lower by about $23 million. Now what we're going to do is immediately sell this mark. You could choose to keep it if you want, but I have enough marks, and I'm mainly looking for a return on my cash. So you can see right off the bat when we go to sell this mark, 25 million is 2 million more than what we paid for it. And if we include the factories and branches, well, now we're getting, what, 15 million more than what we paid for it. So basically this is what the strategy is. We can only buy one company a turn, but I would recommend that you do. You buy one company a turn. If you can make $15 million without selling any cars, just by buying and selling your competitors, you can make a lot of money this way. Now, the other thing I said this can do is help to cripple your competition. When you sell off your competitor, remember, you get to keep all the cash that they had, so you're taking their cash position. If you really wanted to be nasty, and I often do this, but I'm not to save time in this video, delete all of their new vehicles as well, and all their new components. That way, when you spin them off or sell them off to a competitor, there's nothing of value left in the company. And down the road, this will really, really help you to make weaker competitors and make your job a lot easier. And so that's basically the strategy in a nutshell. I've actually already played through this game all the way up to, I think, 1935 so far, and I've bought and sold probably 50 of my competitors this way. You can see that it's not always advantageous to do this, but when you find a good opportunity, I would move on it quickly. Another thing to note is sometimes you can help lower these acquisition costs by buying the shares of the company and save money that way. Like with Columbus, let's say, if I buy all the available shares, well, let me show you. The acquisition cost is $461. If I buy all the available shares, though, at a cost of $35 million, you can see the acquisition cost just dropped to $410. So we've actually saved over $50 million. We only had to pay $35 million. So that can sometimes be a better way at acquiring companies. But that is the way to do it in a nutshell. Buy up your competitors, destroy the company, take their money, sell it off, do it again. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope that if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And if you like this, subscribe. Until next time, have fun. This has been Gearcity Nerd.